Gio take song that I like now, Byron. What's close?
Yeah. Gio had just talked about it, actually.
Oh. Get your phone out, Wallace. I know this one now.
Yeah, you know this one? Add that to your list too, my boy.
Oh, we gonna get it.
It's been a while, cause I don't sleep around. Choose about who I give my love to.
I know this one now.
I don't wanna disappoint you, cause I've been saying how much I want you. Feels first, one might come real soon. Oh, I'm so close. I'm so close. And I can feel it. I can feel it. Oh shit! I'm sorry. I'm trying to go live.
Running back.
I'm trying to go live.
You can't go live. You can't. You know you gotta start it over.
I'm just spitting. Yeah, I'm just spitting. I'm just spitting. This shit have been on my mind for quite some time. I gotta put this shit on the line. I'm just spitting. Yeah, I'm just spitting.
Hey.
Well,
I can pull out the notes now.
Yeah, pull your notes out, nigga.
yeah, man. So this was new. And
That shit scared
concert.
the shit out of me.
The whole concert. Hey, welcome to
shit.
Dropping Dymes, man.
Welcome, baby. Welcome.
Welcome. We just we happy to have y'all in the building with us as always. We appreciate you giving us a little bit of your time,
Just a little
bit of your space, even if it's just a corner of it. But
I'll take that.
That's all we need. Because we in here literally just dropping dimes. And man, we got a guest tonight, guest today. Whenever you decide to look at it,
Night.
yeah.
After they listen to them songs, it's nighttime.
It's gotta be nighttime. This is our guy Gio, man. Super Gio, man. He was out.
What's happening?
And of course, I'm Byron.
I'm Wallace, baby.
And I'm Brandon.
We dropping dimes. Like I said, man, we got Gio. If y'all been rocking with us, like y'all say y'all been rocking with us, y'all seen Gio when we did the live down in Florida when we was down there for nationals.
Yeah.
Gio had a lot to say.
Got real.
Gio had a lot to say, and it was a lot of good stuff to say. You know what I'm saying? It got our mind going, and we see this man like every other weekend or every weekend or so. So we had an opportunity, you know what I'm saying, to have another conversation with him, and we want to bring him in, man, and just talk about. Again, we just want to have conversations about shit that we know we supposed to be talking about, but we really not.
We really not.
That's all we want to do. Open up the conversation again. So, Gio, tell them a little something.
Ado,
Yeah,
show your love.
Sexual chocolate.
That's what it sounded like. He was headed. Goddamn.
Gio, tell them a little something about yourself, man.
Yeah, man. It's Gio, from the city, man. Born and raised. It ain't too much to say, man. Just been in the city all my life. Came in contact with these brothers, man, because we all share a love for the game of football. So glad to be a part of the podcast, man. I reached out to them just because, it's been a lot of stuff been weighing on me, man. I feel like it's a lot of stuff that we don't talk about as men that we should be talking about. Like, I can confide in my brothers, man, but recently we had a flag football tournament, and Young Joe came out, he started talking about mental health and black men. It's a lot of stuff we don't talk about, man, in terms of, how we feel about certain stuff. Just getting everything out on the platform, man, because a lot of things go unsaid, especially with me, man. I'm not the type of dude to just voice my opinion. I feel like in our society, it's not really manly for a dude to just come out and just really speak on how he feel about certain situations. I feel like a lot of times we go silent.
Bitching,
right. You know what I mean? I feel like you go silent about a lot of stuff because society portray that picture of what we should be as a man. And then you got to be comfortable with who you vulnerable with certain women. Because in my past, bro, I've been vulnerable with some people, and then they come back to bite you in the ass because, it kind of, how can I say this? It kind of be used against you in a sense.
Yeah.
So just been weighing on me, man, just from, some personal aspects that I done been through, man, just to come out and talk about it. Because I know it's somebody out there who probably listening, who probably feel it, but ain't willing to talk about it. Because up until I talked to my brothers about coming on the podcast, I'm not comfortable with talking to a lot of people about, certain things that go on in my life, about how I'm feeling about certain situations and what I'm going through. And for a lot of people, man, I don't know if y'all been seeing on social media, like the dude who went and killed his baby mama killed his girlfriend and then killed himself. I think he killed his kids too.
Yeah, like
and I felt like if that brother
Facebook.
on Facebook Live.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, it's
that
been
was-
a while.
it's been a while ago.
It's been a minute.
But I felt like if that brother had somebody to talk to, man, he'd still be here with us. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of dudes, man, like we cool. You know what I mean? And when I hit Wallace up about it, he was like, "Bro, you straight? You need somebody to talk to, this, that, and the third." And I felt like I was cool enough to get to it until we could start talking about it together. But it's just like it's so much stuff that we carry around on us on the daily that, you know, a lot of people suffer in silence, and then we get around other people like, damn, all right, let me get myself together.
Right.
You feel me? Because we don't want to wear our emotions on our sleeve. That's not considered to be manly. But I feel like if you can't talk to your brothers, you can't talk to people who you close to, then who can you talk to?
Yeah.
And I feel like that brother that went through that on social media probably didn't have that person to talk to. He didn't feel that close enough to the people in his circle to feel like he could talk to somebody. And I felt like that's what ended up triggering him to get to that point where he felt like he had to make a rational decision to not only take
Irrational
decision to take not only his life, but the life of people that was close to him. So it's just been weighing on me, man, and it's just like, I felt like, you know, somebody need to hear it. You know what I mean? Like, from being an educator to playing football to working a couple jobs, trying to be a provider and things of that nature, you really don't have a segment or anything like that to just really talk about the things that should be talked about. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you talk to your mama, but that's your mama. Of course she's going to agree with you. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, when you can sit down and talk to your brothers and get some weigh in on your situation, it brings light to a lot of situations. But 9 times out of 10, some people just really want to be heard at the end of the day. And that's pretty much what it all comes down to know that somebody hear you. And a lot of us in the same kind of situation, a lot of us in the same boat with the same experiences. So hopefully, you know, through this breakout session, like, I can gain some knowledge from y'all to how to maneuver and navigate through life to feel like, you know, I ain't really got to hold that in. Like, you know, like, bro, you may need to voice this, or, you know, you there. Like, I know y'all there. But it's just certain times, bro, it's certain stuff that you going through. You can't just pick up the phone at 12 a.m. Shit, you know, people got wives. You can't be like, hey, bro, shit, you up? That lady gonna be looking at you crazy as hell. Like, boy, do you know what time it is?
Sir.
Like, it's down to 12:30, 1 o'clock. You better talk to you about that shit tomorrow. But sometimes, bro, you really need that person to talk to right then and there. Somebody you know, like, hey, bro, like, I'm on the edge, bro. I'm teeter-tottering. Like, you feel me? I'm kind of going through it. So that's what really kind of brought me to the conversation that we really gonna have today, for real.
Look, before we get deep into it, what you just said is exactly the reason we started this podcast in the first place. You probably said it better than any of us have ever said it on this podcast before. That's the purpose of this, is men go through things that are seen and unseen, but we don't necessarily get the opportunity or the platform or the space to be vulnerable and say what we feeling, what we're going through, because you get looked at as you being a bitch, you complaining too much. But sometimes we still got to realize that we are human beings, that we go through things and we need help going through these things. I can't hold everything on these shoulders. Yeah, I'll lift weights, I work out, they broad, but they can't hold the world up. So we need the space.
And one of the biggest things, especially for, like, I know for myself, I can't speak for everybody. I hate to speak in generalized statements, but I know for me, it's tough for me to ask for help. And then when I ask for it, if I ask for it and somebody can't give it, then it puts me back in a space of, I should have never asked in the first place. I probably won't ask again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, honestly.
So are you tied to the result?
No, I think the result is part of it, but I think from the beginning it's already a struggle for me to ask for help, because it's like, hey, you should be able to manage this. You should be able to manage it. You know how many times I went through stuff, bro, and when I'm out of it, somebody be like, well, why you didn't say something? I'd be like, bro, I know everybody got their own stuff.
Right.
I think I said that to y'all when everything was going on, my pops and everything. I was like, man, I know y'all got y'all own stuff going on, man. And that's usually how I push through life, because I know everybody's dealing with something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're married, you got a wife, you running a household, you got a job, your wife got a job. Like, that's enough for y'all to talk about right there.
Fuck all that. If you going through some shit, bro, and that's when you said, if it's 12 o'clock and you wanted to call somebody, but you know bruh sleeping, bruh, fucking call me.
Yeah, call.
Because goddamn, I deal with.
I ain't got no wife, bro.
I know how to argue with my wife.
I ain't got no wife.
I've been in plenty enough arguments with my wife. It's not gonna be the first one. It won't be the last. So call me. We'll deal with it on the back end.
Yeah,
but
I called him. I called him the other day, and I was like, just tell her I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah, like we gonna have this conversation.
Right.
Because this shit is life or death at some
juncture.
point.
Yeah,
Right.
especially now.
So like, bro, don't even think about that shit. Just call me.
Yeah.
The only reason I answered because I was fucking asleep.
Right.
But if I see that bitch, I'm answering the phone. She gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Right.
He said,
I
what?
definitely understand,
One of us
bro.
gonna answer.
Hell yeah.
Right.
And the crazy thing is, like, for some of us, no matter how many times we say that, bro, it's still gonna be a struggle for some men.
But that's why we gotta keep saying.
Yeah, and that's how I feel. Like, that's the reason. And I say it a lot. Like, even if I can't help you, I can get you in contact with somebody who can help you. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who specializes in this, who can have these types of conversations and probably bring you out of a darker spot, or at least in that moment. You know what I'm saying? But, bro, like, I can assure you, we ain't gonna just overlook you.
Right.
Like we ain't gonna over, and that's speaking to y'all too. Like, if we know you, or even if we don't,
Unless
fuck
it's in the
with us.
comments.
Yeah, don't. If it's in the comments, it's gonna be some clapping back. You know what I'm saying? But no. Like, in real life though, because people are struggling right now. Like, I don't know if it was the whole situation with COVID and having to be at home, kind of in your thoughts and in your feelings alone.
Your bubble.
Yeah, but
Not having the outlets that you were accustomed to.
exactly. So I think people are really starting to see that the importance of mental health, but still struggling with how to deal with it, how to cope, how to manage it, and who to talk to when dealing with it.
I think Gio said another thing that was really important to me, because when I started going to therapy, like, I would say some stuff and I look back on it, I'd be like, it's kind of off the wall. But the space to be able to open up and say what the hell is going on in my head was freeing. Like, I felt confined. I felt bundled up, tied up, constrained. But then when I went to therapy, and my wife, we went to couples therapy. But just the space to be able to say the shit made me feel so much better. Honestly,
get it
bro,
out.
I would leave out that bitch laughing and smiling and cheesing. She be pissed off, but I was like, bro, there's no other space for me to get this shit out.
Yeah.
Right, but it need to be said. And the biggest part about it is, and y'all probably see me looking at my phone, man. I'm real big on notes. My thing is, bro, I feel like a lot of people don't understand is the notes, my boy. I'm a teacher, you feel me? You got to write it down or you going to forget it. But the biggest thing, man, is I think, like, and no disrespect to women, man, because I know women go through a lot. I know they do it. And I feel like society always try to turn black men on black women. But I feel like for men, it's so hard every day getting up, and excuse my phrase, to be a real nigga. Because in my mind, you can wake up and be a bum. You can wake up and not do shit with your life, this is that and the third, and live in this social media realm, where people just live based on social media. But that ain't real life for a lot of us, man. Like, a lot of us still got to provide. A lot of us still got to get up and go to work. There's a lot of responsibility that goes into getting up and being, in my opinion, being a real man, providing, being to make sure that people are taken care of and that they don't have to feel what you feel. I think it was Jim Jones that said, man, my family ain't never had to feel what I had to go through. And people don't understand that as a man, bro. It's just like, to go through what you go through and not let your family have to feel what you're going through is something way more significant. And I'm not trying to start a debate between men and women. I'm just saying, for a man to go through something and not let his family feel that is a lot, bro. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. To go through something like, bro, like, I've always had a job, and a lot of people like, bro, why you work so much? Like, I grew up seeing my mama work. You know what I mean? Being a single parent, being a single mom, or being in a single parent household, and seeing my mom work her ass off. But then at the end of the day, I didn't feel what my mama had to go through. I seen it, but I feel like for a man, you don't want your family to have to see what you're going through. Like, it hurt me, bro, to see my daughter have to ask me, like, Daddy, you going to work today? Daddy, you going to work today? After I already done been to work. Daddy, I want you to stay at home. But it's just like, bro, things need to be taken care of. Now, she probably ain't going to feel it. She probably be like, well, Daddy at work. But she ain't going to feel the significance of why is Daddy at work all the time. And then a lot of people be like, bro, well, I just want you to be home. But at the end of the day, you got to understand, bro, especially living in Atlanta today, in order for us to be where we are in a comfortable state with the way Atlanta used to be as opposed to what it is now, like, bro, you can't be, with me being a teacher, I can't live comfortable off a teacher's salary. I can't. And then I feel like sometimes, bro, I'm teeter-tottering between, bro, I need to find a better job. I need to do this. But then I'm coaching. And I'm doing something I love with coaching. But coaching ain't providing what I need for my family. So ultimately, I'm like, bro, I might need to step away from coaching so I can be able to provide the time that I need for my family. But then I need to find that job that's going to suffice for me giving up coaching, training, and working another job so I can be at home a lot more. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like a lot of times, man, like, and everybody on social media, you got a lot of these dudes, bro, like, you know, talking about what real men do and this, that, and the third, whoop, whoop. But they speaking from their standpoint. I don't mean to name bomb nobody or drop names. I heard Steve Harvey talking about, oh man, you know, I hear a lot of dudes nowadays talking about what women bring to the table, this, that, and the third. And I understand what he's saying, bro. But I knew the Steve Harvey before Steve Harvey got big. Kings of Comedy, Steve Harvey. Big ass suit, Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When bro was pushing the brand, this, that, and the third. Right, you know what I mean? But beforehand, I seen the struggle of Steve Harvey. We went to the same college, Kent State University. And mind you, I seen on the outside, I didn't feel what he felt, but I kind of knew what it was to see bro trying to do all these other ventures to make it work. And now you get to a segment, I feel like people get to a platform when they start making money, they start speaking like B said, you hate to speak in general, but then you got a lot of these dudes talking about men in general, about what men should be doing. And I understand it, bro. We not all in the same boat. Everybody ain't got a podcast, a morning show, a comedian career.
Judge.
You feel what I'm saying? Everybody ain't got multiple streams of income to come in. It can be easy to say that about your life. And again, bro, he might see this and may take personal shots to this, but I feel like, you know, the situation with his personal life. Yeah, you feel me? But it is what it is, bro. You feel me? Like, I'm just speaking real because I felt attacked when he said it. I felt like, you know, his situation and where he is in his life now wasn't where he was in his life before. Yeah. Like his current situation with his family wasn't what it was before. So at the end of the day, those things brought you different opportunities that you're benefiting from now based on the sacrifices that you made beforehand. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So now
people don't get it right the first time because he on his third wife. So,
but that's the point I'm trying to make, because the current wife, and again, it is what it is. The current wife was with a dude who did provide. This is that and the third. I felt like if women don't feel like you can be that source of a provider, that his situation would have been different. You feel me? If you was just a comedian, Steve Harvey, that situation would have been different. Now you pulling from these multiple streams of income, now all of a sudden it's like your circumstances change. But I feel like because your circumstances change, bro, don't lose touch or don't lose insight to the guy that you was before all your, you know, how can I say this? Everything fell in line for you, because at the end of the day, it's just like, bro, take yourself back to Steve Harvey before you had it all, before you had the talk shows, before you had Family Feud, before you had the morning show, before you had the comedy and all this. Yeah. What was that Steve Harvey like? And them two wives before that. So
what did you disagree with Steve Harvey?
He was saying, like, you know, a woman brings the possibility of bringing you another you, which I totally agree with. But don't negate the fact that every man is not in your situation to be able to provide what you provide in your household right now. Because at the end of the day, like I put in the notes and I sent you, name me a woman, a successful woman. I don't give a fuck what your gender is. I'm sorry, not your gender, I apologize. What your nationality is. Yeah. Show me a woman that looked at a man and was like, you know what? I'm attracted to him. This is that, and the third. I want to know more about you. This is that, and the third. Most women who are on a statue, or they get to a certain realm in their life, they want a man of their equal, right? But then you see so many dudes, whether it's NFL, NBA, anybody in the professional realm, anything like that, most of the time, those dudes are not looking for women that are going to match where they are. You feel me? I feel like dudes seek love, and it's like, bro, I don't give a fuck where you are in your life or where you are and what you're trying to pursue. I'm attracted to you, and based on getting upon knowing you, it's not about what you can provide, or it's not about your statures, your accomplishments. It's how I feel about you personally. I feel like now with how social media is, and now that, you know, a lot of people have gotten to a point in their careers, a lot of people are trying to meet people that are, you know, at their stature or above. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I feel like men don't necessarily look at stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, a man will look at a chick and be like, okay, you know, she got some qualities, this is that and the third. When it come to women, excuse me, I know I may, you know, ruffle some feathers. I feel like women ain't looking for qualities. It's like, bro, like, okay, what you gonna bring to the table? Like, I got this, that, and the third. So you can't come to the table because you fit, you in shape, you educated, this is that, and the third. What else are you bringing to the table? You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of women, when I tell people, like, before I met my fiance, bro, I used to tell people that I'm an educator. On purpose. My homeboy be like, bro, why the fuck you keep telling women you a teacher? You know that shit ain't attractive. I don't give a fuck. That shit ain't I don't give a fuck. I can care less because I want to turn you on. Because at the end of the day, bro, it doesn't match what certain women see in a man. It's like, bro, like, damn, okay, so what's your salary here? Baby, I'm bringing home like $55,000, $60,000 a year. And to some women, that shit is a turnoff. It's like, bro, you a teacher, you got a degree, and you decided to teach.
Some women, that's a turn on.
Yeah, but I feel like it's a small percentage of women that feel like that's a turn on. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? Like a lot of people not
Do you
caught
feel
up.
like one of those is right or wrong?
I feel
Like
like it's-
women looking for somebody who can either match or provide versus men looking at somebody that I'm attracted to and connected to. Is either one of those right or wrong?
I feel like it's a disconnect because at the end of the day, when you're looking for somebody that can provide, I feel like men, and I'm just speaking freely, I feel like when men look at certain things, it's like, yeah, you know, you can do this, that, and the third. And I hear on a lot of podcasts, a lot of women be like, oh yeah, I can cook, I can clean, this is that, and the third. And it'll always be a debate. But at the end of the day, a lot of dudes be like, bruh, there's nothing that you can't do for me that I can't already pay for. I can pay somebody to clean. I can pay somebody to
You been
cook.
watching too much Fresh and Fit podcast.
I feel you, but I hear it, and I listen to what they saying.
Listen to
But
Byron,
to be honest, to be honest, if you're a real professional
You said that before.
in whatever field that you in,
What he just
think
said.
about it.
I mean,
Just
you
be
gotta do a
real.
little bit more, but-
If a dude making $100,000 a day, I'm sorry, not $100,000 a year, $100,000 a year. I'm sorry, my bad. Look, it's the cup. It's the cup. It's the cup. It's the cup.
Anybody you want.
It's the cup. That boy a trillionaire. But any
good
dude
math
that's
right there.
at that peak of his life,
Quick, too. Quick.
what can certain women bring to him that makes him want to settle down? Because you got to think about it like this: most men that get married, not throwing shots, but most men that want to get married are doing that in a sense of trying to be that guy that plays that role to give their wife or their fiance that type of life that they always grew up thinking about. Like, bro, I want a husband, I want the white picket fence, this is that and the third.
Well, I think that's a good point. You think most men want to get married?
I don't think they do, bro. And you think about it like this: a lot of ball players. I'm close to a lot of people in the NFL, dude. A lot of people really don't believe in marriage because a lot of men don't see a benefit in marriage.
It got like that though. It's a lot of people that don't believe.
Yeah,
in
recently.
Yeah, recently.
So I think
Do y'all see the value in marriage at where you are now in life?
I think there's a disconnect with
You
the
gotta
whole,
say yeah. So
I think there's a disconnect with the whole situation on wanting to get married, partly because I think like he was saying, we live in a social media time, right?
Yeah.
Where social media is saying, hey, you ought to be marrying a dude that's making $200,000 a year. You ought to have this type of house. You ought to have this, that. You ought to have all this stuff set up so that your marriage looks like this when other people see it.
Right.
I think if you go into it with somebody who y'all mindsets are similar, like
Yeah.
where it's like, hey, let's just have some good stuff. Let's have really nice stuff for us and not so much for what they doing.
yeah, and we can build. With.
We good. You know what I'm saying? Because we can always we can purchase land. We can buy a house. We can have nice things. And
We can
ain't
build
gotta-
equity. We
we
go
can
buy property to
and
rent
that's what it's
out.
about. More so what we can do for each other right here and have for the future versus what they get to see on these pictures or for the vacations and we just purchased our new house. Like who? Like bro, no.
Yeah, what's your
Why?
mortgage and are you house broke
exactly,
now?
bro.
Right.
Like because
Tell me the real shit.
Yeah, you house broke.
Yeah.
Like you got this dope ass house and you one emergency away from being under. You know what I'm saying? So I think we put too much value in stuff that shouldn't matter. You know what I'm saying? If at the end of the day, do what's best for your household.
Right.
Like, if it's 50-50, if it's 60-40, if it's fucking 80-20, if this man make $300,000 a year and can swing everything, do what's best for your household. If you doing what social media is telling y'all to do, I can assure you, you're going to despise each other because another nigga somebody else then told y'all how y'all supposed to be living.
Right.
And when it ain't that,
And
you're gonna have a fit.
Yeah, and it all fall apart, man. And then the aspect of it is bringing it back to the mental health aspect. It's like a lot of dudes start masking a lot of things that they go through with finding other luxuries and other things. And it's just this, and I had to really take
Shit,
a
I
real
need
deep thought into this, bro. Like for real, like because when you feel like you're doing that, like it's a lot of tension, it's a lot of pressure on men to try to uphold certain standards that women have grown accustomed to feeling like men should have to provide. You feel me? So again, back to the notes, I feel like you hear a lot of men like, you know, they go out a lot or they on their phones a lot or this, that, and third. You hear a lot of people like dealing with drugs and pornography and alcohol. I feel like a lot of that stuff stems from the stress of being that provider in a sense, because it's like, bro, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm busting my ass, da 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 da. A lot of dudes take on a lot of jobs because they making a lot of money, but they're not truly happy. So at the end of the day, it's like, if I'm with someone who really loves me, I should be able to do something that I truly love and not come home to the point where I can't give you that type of love that you're looking for because I'm in a job that, yeah, I'm making the money. I'm doing this, that, and the third. I got a lot of people in corporate America, but you hate that shit. You feel me? And then you got to mask it. You got to come on and put on a different face or put on a mask and be like, okay, well, I'm this when I get home, but this is that and the third. But it's like, you're not truly happy. But then again, I feel like a lot of dudes stick with a lot of things that they have to do in life because they're trying to provide that type of lifestyle that they feel like they've grown accustomed to doing. And I feel like as men, and again, I can only speak for men, so I know a lot of women be like, oh, you out here bashing women. No, I'm not bashing you, baby. I'm just letting you know from a man aspect, from a dude who done played college ball, who done played on the practice squad, who, you know, had all these ties to football, things of that nature. I feel like football has molded a lot of guys into feeling like you show no pain, you show no weakness, you show none of this. So I've incorporated that into my life till it's at the point where, like, dude, I got a child with my first girlfriend. I got a child out of Woodlock. I got a child with my fiance, and then I got kids with my fiance, which are my kids. I feel like they are my kids. But at the end of the day, it's like, to be that provider, I can't be there all the time. You see what I'm saying? I can't do the certain things that they want me to do because I got to provide. You feel me? I feel like if I'm there, then somebody gonna suffer on the back end. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta be that guy that comes through. If somebody need this or somebody need that, I gotta be there for it. Somebody wanna play basketball, somebody wanna play football, kids need shoes, the kids need clothes. I put myself on the back end, but then at the end of the day, it's like, am I truly happy in what I'm doing and trying to provide for somebody else? You feel me? Because at the end of the day, that's ultimately what it is. And that's just speaking from my circumstance, or speaking from my situation. It's just like, people got to understand the type of pressure that men certainly kind of go through just to get there. And again, to women, I understand where you all are now, to the point where you're just now getting to a point where you're being recognized. Like, I read an article the other day, where they were talking about black women and how there are so many more black women with degrees, this is that and the third, you know, that are in, you know, corporate America and things of that nature. But I feel like those type of women are looking for dudes like me. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I got a degree. Yeah, but I chose to teach because I chose to coach because I felt like I had a duty to give back to the kids that somebody gave back to me. But at the end of the day, I should be doing so much more with my degree, but I'm happy with what I'm doing.
Have you experienced that woman that doesn't see value in the man that you are, even though you don't make $200,000 a year?
I have, in the past I have. Now, I felt like what I dealt with in my previous situations have molded where I am now. Because before it was like, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to this, that, and the third, and provide, you know? Yeah. Now I'm in a situation where, you know, I need you to be home, I need you to be more present, I need you to do this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, I got a different type of household to provide for now. Like, I got a daughter that's not with me all the time that I still got to provide for. You know, now ultimately we're going through a situation with some legal situations where it's a little different now. But when that's over, I'm still going to have to provide for her. And then when she was there, when I was, when I was a little bit more present before, you know, the falling out between me and her, it wasn't nothing that she could ask me for that I couldn't provide. So now I feel like being a father in one household and still having a child in another household is like trying to find that balance now, because I don't never want my daughter to feel like, damn, like my daddy somewhere else doing something for somebody else and feel like she getting less than. You feel me? But then I got this other.
But she gonna inevitably get less than because you're not there.
Right, exactly. And that's another part that you really kind of fight with, man, because it's just like, I feel like a lot of women feel like dudes just feel like they can do what the fuck they want to do and be gone when they want to be gone, this, that, and the third. And it's not necessarily true in a sense, because like I talked to you about earlier, bro, like I've been in situations where when shit is right at home, I don't give a fuck, bro. You can walk Megan Good, Beyonce, you can walk them by me, bro, and if shit good at home, it doesn't matter. But when your lifestyle starts,
when you say it don't matter what you like, not looking.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
You're
Like
not
when
looking.
shit good at home, I'm not looking, bro. Like oh God, like dead ass. Like bro, when shit good at home,
I'm looking.
when the chemistry is right,
I'm looking.
I feel you.
I
But
may not
but
reach
I'm
out.
not shooting no shots, but
Yeah,
I'm definitely looking.
I hear you. But when shit is good at home, bro,
You gonna
it's
get
just
beat
like
up, though.
it's different.
I
though.
take them
You feel me?
licks.
That nigga
Like-
said Megan good.
I'm just being real. I'm just calling names because I know certain women that's drawn to you. Feel me?
Shake
But
some.
At the end of the day, it's just like when shit is all good at home, bro. Nothing outside these
Nah, I get what
doors
you're saying.
can stray me, bro.
No, that's
So when
completely.
so when shit
that's
not
real.
good at home.
When shit not good at home,
That's,
bro,
when
it's
you,
just
that's
like
where the mental warfare starts.
That's
Yes,
when they
bro.
start playing
That's
video
when
games.
that's when your mindset is just like you
know.
start paying attention to shit. Like you starting to like a little more posts, start coming on a little more posts.
Stop snitching.
You feel me? I shit it in what it is, bro. You feel me? Bro,
Hey,
listen, I
wait,
ain't got
time
nothing to hide.
out.
You feel me?
Y'all remember when Instagram you used to be able to go and see what other people was liking
Yes, you can still do that.
No, I thought
No,
they got
you
rid
can
of it.
still do that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna turn my phone around because they can't see. It's a way to do
too?
that, bro.
No. We don't need to see it.
We
don't
good.
need to see it.
Yeah, I believe.
Listen, bro.
I believe
Listen, you feel me? It's a way to see it.
I believe you.
But you can only see it from your side. You know what I mean? Can't
Yeah.
nobody go through and look at seeing what you like.
Yeah,
But
no. So it used to be where you could go to like, if you went on the little
see what
search,
somebody
you
else
could go see what
like.
other people were liking at the time. That was a crazy time.
yeah, bro. And then it was to the point where you can see who unfollows you, blocked you, all type of shit.
Hey, what's your perspective on somebody saying like, all right, you got a kid with one woman, you got a fiance with a kid, and she also has a previous child, right?
Right.
So you got to provide for that family as well
Right.
as manage yourself. Like somebody says that you made the decisions to get you in this position. What do you say to them?
I feel like it's in a situation, bro, is like we talked about earlier, like I seen the value in the woman. I didn't see the value. I'm sorry, I didn't see, how can I say this? I don't want to call it undercomers or nothing like that because we talking about kids. But most people would see that as baggage. And they'd be like, oh, nah, bro, like, nah, she ain't qualified because she come with this, that, and the third.
No, I'm saying like what do you say to somebody that's like you're obviously going through some weight, some trauma in your life, experiencing trying to provide and do all the things to, because bro, every time I talk to you, you at some job. Shit's crazy.
Right.
But what do you say to the person that's like you put yourself there? Like you supposed to just deal with it.
Right. And I'm not against that part. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of things that we're experiencing now is that people want a certain lifestyle or come accustomed to feeling like they need a certain lifestyle but don't understand what comes with providing that lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. I know some dudes. I got some homeboy we play flag football with. These dudes make hundreds of $1,000s a year. I don't know what degree they got to get to where they are or whatever the case may be.
You don't need no degree no more.
You feel me? I wish I would have known, bro. I feel like someone scamming, but that ain't for me to say. But at the end of the
You
day,
just said
Kind of said it.
you feel me? Like,
He ain't say no
listen,
names,
bro. Listen. And this is really off topic, bro. I was looking at the
Came in,
85
jumped straight in
South
the
show,
Wallace
bro.
shoe.
And he was talking about the Nigerians. I don't know if y'all seen that.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, the
No.
Nigerians are the first people that brought scamming.
Boy.
He said
I
he seen the
thought you were
Nigerian
about
at
to
the
say something about
gas station.
Listen,
Bro, listen, bro. He said he seen a Nigerian at the gas station. He said he seen him swipe his room card at the gas pump for gas.
yeah. All
Bro,
they need is a magnetic strip,
A
baby.
magnetic strip, bro.
All they need
But
is a strip.
That
I
shit
feel
sent
like,
a signal
bro, it's
somewhere.
just-
Nah, they got a credit card on there.
Yeah, it's a credit card. Like it's
On
a,
the-
it
on
look
the
like
hotel
a hotel
card?
card, but
you
it's a
just need
magnet
a
strip on a
strip.
credit
You just
card.
need a strip on
Oh.
it.
Yeah.
So they buy a box of strips, a box of magnetic.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this.
Yeah. Listen, you ain't gonna upload the video in a
We'll
minute.
talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
but
so my answer to that question I asked you would have been, it don't fucking matter if I make these decisions. I'm still experiencing this reality right now.
Right.
Now, how can you help me through this space? Because I can't change that I got these 3 kids I got to take care of. I can't change that I can change the fiance because I can let her go, but I'm not. This is what I want to do.
right.
How can you help me manage everything that comes with that?
Right.
That's what I want people to start realizing. Like, don't talk shit about what somebody has done or what they got or what they did. Like, okay, that's reality. That's real. That's right now. How
Now
do we
let's
manage
grow.
this?
Let's grow.
From here, what do we do now?
And I ultimately feel like, man, it comes down to sacrifice.
And
a lot of people-
prioritization.
Yeah, exactly. Because now that I get older, man, and I just had a little boy, and my son, bro, even though he's still a baby, like an infant, I feel like with me coaching is taking a lot of time away from my family, a lot of time from him. Like a lot of people don't understand how it is to be a high school football coach. Like literally, man, when you take like they give us a stipend, and a lot of people are like, oh yeah, y'all make like $3,500, $2,500 to coach. Dude, football is a year-round sport. No, that's year-round. That's year-round. Spring, the season, the summer.
Yeah,
so when you
divide
factor
them hours
it in,
out.
bro, when you factor it in, you making like 10 to 5 cents a day. But then
not a day. God damn.
literally, bro. No, seriously. When you factor in like right now in the
5 cent
summertime,
time 365 ain't
listen, bro, check this
$3,200.
out. When you factor in the summertime right
Quick
now,
math.
when you factor in the summertime right now, throughout the week, Monday through Friday, I'm there from 7 to 11. That's 5 days a week.
7 a.m. to 11
a.m. to 11 a.m. Then that's not even factor when we have to go 7-on-7 at some college, 7-on-7 later. That's not factoring
No,
that in.
I don't disagree that
Oh,
you
yeah,
working
no,
way
I'm about to
less
say,
than minimum
yeah.
wage, but you said 5 cents a day. I'm
No,
like,
no,
that's,
no.
Probably
that's
5 cents
not
an
it.
hour.
But no, this is the crazy part.
Yeah, maybe
But
5 cents an hour.
But this is the crazy part. When you factor in, because I actually sat down and did the math with one of the coaches I coach with at Hateville.
Yeah.
Literally, bro, you making anywhere between 5 to 10 cents a day. Because you think about this.
It can't be, Gio.
No, but check this out. Let me weigh it in.
This is why 365 times 5 cents is not $3,200.
I understand that. So it's probably in between less than what I'm really trying to quote. So the question I'm asking is we're not even factoring the times in which you had to feed certain kids. You have to take certain kids home.
So you in debt now.
Yeah,
Yeah, work your shit.
Right.
damn
So
near.
we factor
We
in
might
all
be
the-
getting 5 cents.
Right. So my thing is this, bro, you gotta understand, like when you
Stop
coach,
feeding them
especially in the
damn
inner city
kids.
schools,
Yeah.
in the inner city schools, you got kids who literally are living with a guardian, kids that you gotta provide for, like, hey Cole, let me get $5, bro. I ain't really got home, I ain't got money. You gotta take certain kids home. I got coaches that let certain kids live with them. Because of their home situation, they understand that football is the only thing that's gonna keep them out the streets.
They come pick your ass up.
You see what I'm saying?
jump
Bro,
on the
gas
back of
is
this
what?
truck.
$3.50 now?
I know.
Damn,
I
you
told
work.
him
Now
that.
when your kid live in another direction, bro, I coach at Mays now. I live on South Fulton. None of them kids stay in the direction I stay in. So if I got to take a kid home, bro, I drive a Hemi, I drive a Jeep, and I drive a Monte Carlo. Bro,
Son, you living good.
nah, bro, you talk about all the jobs I work, right? You see what I'm saying? Just to make it make sense.
Hey,
So at the end of the day, when
I'll
you
buy
factor
one.
in all that time that you spend with other people's kids, I just went to Georgia Tech yesterday from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock. You feel me? You see what I'm saying? And then still had to go back to work the next day. But I do it because I love it. But then at the end of the day, you factor it in. It ain't worth the money that you're making because at the end of the day, you spend more money than what you make at the end of the year.
It's gonna be
I hear
something
it now.
that lacks, like whether it, and I used to say this all the time, especially when people's like when women start talking about dudes. Like, I want this dude that make this much money. I can assure you, if he makes a certain amount of money, he's not going to be able to spend a certain amount of time with you.
Yes.
Like, it's going to be some fall off somewhere.
Right.
If he got a lot of time for you, unless he ain't figured out ways to make money while he sleeps, which a lot of people haven't done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if he's and chances are if he's making that type of money, he probably like he looking for a certain caliber. Like he said, like that's just my opinion. Like, because he's looking for somebody that can help him continue to make money, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like,
If he's a guy that knows how to make money when he sleeps, why does he need her to know how to help him make money?
So because and the point that I
who
made,
wants to not continue to make? Who wants to not make more money?
and then at the end of the day,
But if he's already knowing how to do that, because I think it's 2 tiers of people and it's 2 mindsets. It's like the person that like wants to grow and always grow, and it's also like I'm good. I know how to make money the rest of my life. Let me get something that I like looking at. Let me get something that's not gonna talk back to me.
But then you become a liability.
And that's why I say it's a mindset thing. Because it's like, am I okay with that or am I not?
yeah, but then I feel like a lot of dudes and then like you said, I do see the 2 different tiers because some people just like something that look good on their arm.
And they'll change them out.
Right. But then some people like, bro, I'm doing all this, that, and the third. Like I need you to be bringing something to the table.
Yeah.
So that's what we talk about people bringing something to the table. It's just like, if I'm out here busting my ass, making sure this is that and the third is done, then ultimately, what are you bringing to the table? Because again, you see so many NFL dudes that start out with one chick and they end up with another. Because you end up providing this lifestyle for somebody, and then when you retire, when you decide that you want to venture on for football, you ain't making that type of money no more. But you made her accustomed to this lifestyle. So then you start getting this thing where I forget what the legal term is, but when you provide a lifestyle for a woman for so long, you don't have to be married to her. She can take you to court and still.
You are.
I can't remember the term. Y'all forgive me. It's the cup.
Stupid.
Common law marriage or something like that.
Yeah,
yeah.
I got a friend of mine in Canada that they did it on purpose, but they lived together for 7 years and were common law married.
Right, but at the end of the day, you provided that lifestyle for them for so long.
Then you have to pay them alimony.
Yeah, you still even if you're not married, you still have to provide that type of lifestyle for them because that's what you've made them accustomed to.
That's stupid.
You feel me? But at the end of the day, like people got on.
If I made you broke for the first 10 years of your life,
yeah, but everybody got on Stetson. What's your boy name that dated Whitney Houston? I mean, not Whitney Houston. What's your girl name that got the talk show? You get a car.
Everybody.
Oprah. Stedman.
Everybody got on Stedman for what he did to Oprah, right? Everybody got on Stedman for what he did to Oprah. He did the same thing that women do to men.
Oh.
He was like, bro, she provided the lifestyle, this, that, and third. They were like, bro, you a man, bro. You ain't supposed to do that, this, that, and third.
He living good,
but she provided a lifestyle for him for so long that when
Mary J. Blige's husband did that when they got a divorce.
Yeah, bro.
And
I just heard about that.
Yeah, he actually was the one who cheated, and he took her to he took her to court
outside
because you
and some money.
Like that shit was wild,
right, bro? But you provided that lifestyle for somebody, so now you see why people who are in that industry or people who make that type of money only want to date people who make significantly more than what they make.
You get a car. You get a car. You feel me? It's just like, bro, like
at the end of the day, that's why I feel like a lot of people are really being real selective about who they deal with or what the case may be. And then we get into the point people talking about what is it called, man, that you get a prenup. People be looking at stuff like that, like if you really love somebody, why you get a prenup, this, that, the third. But then you got to understand, people trying to protect their assets, man, because at the end of the day, you meet a lot of industry guys or a lot of professionals that meet women who don't come from the lifestyle that they provide. So it's like, bro, like I want to know that you here for me.
I think that's why you got to talk to young men about how they select a woman, because of course we're visual creatures. Right. So the first thing I see, I kind of want to jump on. Right. And I want to bring it along and keep it there as long as I want to. But if you think about the I guess developing a decision making young man, is like, all right, cool, I like what I see, but what other value can you bring, and what other values do you have as a person that's going to help me grow? Well, how can you be an asset?
But that's what we go to. We talk about what you bring to the table. I feel like a lot of times
you got to train a young man to make that decision, because we also make decisions to get these women who don't add no value.
Right.
I think one of the biggest things is, like I always be saying, and we ain't said this on here a bunch of times, bro, take that time to get to know yourself.
Man, for real.
So that you realize what you're actually looking for.
Right.
Because a lot of times you jump on be the first thing that look good, right? The second, even if it's the second thing that look good, right?
Right.
But you ain't took the time to realize you ain't seen them in different seasons. Have you seen the person when they have some money, how they act? Have you seen this person without money, how they act? Have you seen this person act when
on a good day or a bad day?
Exactly. Like you can talk about regular everyday life.
Right.
Like, and just seeing them in those different seasons can make you realize, like, this ain't where I'm supposed to be.
Right.
Like, Shawty get mad, she swung on me. Shawty got mad, she called her brothers on me.
Bro,
like the dude down the
floor. She got a fat ass though, so
he don't swing on. Bro, like a prime example.
Oh God,
bro. But listen, prime example is a dude who just got off down in Florida. The kid went to Florida State. The Randolph kid.
Yeah.
His chick sent her brothers,
who was married.
Yeah. Who he later found out was married.
Right.
She sent her brothers go shoot his shit up.
Yeah.
And he happened to kill one of her brothers in the situation.
I think it was one of his partners.
I
think she called her brother. He bought 3 of his partners.
Yeah, brought 3 of the partners
and killed one of them.
He ended up killing one of them.
Yeah.
And like, bro, like,
and on video, she's beating it. She's swinging
on him. Yeah.
Can I get some?
Oh yeah, shit, I love it.
So, man, I'm sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
So like that's a season. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sure he saw her and was like, damn, she looked good. Didn't see her in situations where she like, I'll fight a nigga. Like, bro, we cannot live like that.
But I tell people like this too, bro. And I talked to my manager about this, bro. She give me some real life information, dude. When we deal with people, even if we deal with them for multiple seasons, you see who they are. No, not saying the people that jump into it like fresh in the honeymoon stage. I'm talking about the people that been together for 2-3 years and decide to keep it going. People see the red flags, but they choose to accept what they want to accept in certain situations.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of people turn a blind eye to certain situations and relationships and feel like they can deal with it. Yeah, you can deal with it for that first year. You can deal with it for that first 2 years. But can you deal with it for 30 years?
But honestly,
can you deal
bro,
with
I
it
don't
for
know.
40 years?
I don't know shit that I don't like that I know I could deal with for 30 years.
Yeah,
there's nothing on this planet that I know that I can
But I feel
accept
like
for
it's
30
a
years.
difference between somebody who knows themselves and somebody who's searching for something
Yeah.
that they like to see.
For sure,
You
yeah,
feel me?
definitely.
Because I feel like a lot of people, bro, like somebody told me something. I heard, bro, I hear so much stuff on social media. Somebody said, bro, you need to get married to somebody that you're attracted to, because at least if they get on your motherfucking nerves, you got something to look at.
Man,
look at
everything droops.
Everything that glitter ain't gold, man.
If
Everything
you
that
get on my
glitter ain't
nerves,
gold.
And everything
I
tarnished.
don't
Everything
give a
tarnished.
fuck
That shit look good
what she
at
look
23,
like.
but at 30, what's up? At
You feel
42,
me?
I don't
what's
give a
up?
damn if it
Talking
look
about,
good at
like,
42,
I almost
68.
married a young lady.
It don't matter. If you get on my fucking nerves,
Yes,
that
bruh.
shit out the window.
I almost married a young lady, bro. And she eventually, like, we got into it, and she swung on me. And I was like,
Oh,
hey,
wow.
well, this is over.
Ladies, please
this
don't
was,
swing on me.
This was a good run.
Please
You know
don't.
what I'm saying? I'm glad we got this out the way.
Thank you for showing me who you are.
And God bless and good night.
Good night.
Because we can't go no further than that. Because so what's supposed to happen next? Do I get to swing back on you?
Supposed to take it.
Because
and
look,
be
if
a
I
man.
don't do something drastic,
And then
in your mind,
she
you
feel
think
like,
you can do this shit
he's
again.
not gonna fight me.
Right.
Exactly.
He ain't gonna fight me, so I'll keep
So
doing
I'll
it.
keep doing the shit. So let's just go our separate
That
ways.
comes to another whole topic, bro, about in my personal situations. Women be like, bro, you so quick to leave. So understand this.
I know
I'm
what I
so
like.
quick to leave because although I'm not in a profession where I make a lot of money, in teachers you have to do this thing called ethics. So ethics is about you doing the right thing even though nobody's watching. To just, make a long story short.
Straight out of the dictionary.
So at the end, exactly. So at the end of the day, I can't go to jail and have to work tomorrow and call my employer and say, "Hey, I can't come in today because I'm in Fulton County Jail. Can you get me a sub?" No, bruh. Like as teachers, we make the least amount of money, but we have the most responsibility. Like they tell you, even with ethics, bro, you can't even be in a bar having a good time with my brothers and let a
And one of the
parent come
parents
in
yeah.
and see you drinking and having a good time. You can lose your job, bro. So at the end of the day, women be like, bro, why you so quick to leave? Yeah.
That's
Hold
why
on.
I
didn't say
drink in the
that,
house.
but- You feel me?
I see
Like,
it.
bruh, like you feel me? Like at the end of the day, there's certain things that come with my profession that I can't do. That people that make a lot more money than me, they can go out and do freely, and they ain't got to worry about nothing. Bro, I work in a lounge. Bro, I work at like a restaurant type lounge. I know so many dudes. I know they got locked up, and then when they get out, they still got their job. Bro, if I get locked up as a teacher, I'm gonna be fired tomorrow.
Hey, that's the job situation, right? You just got to
Right.
know what your job allows.
Exactly, what you allow. So a lot of women take that back to the current situation. A lot of people like, bro, why you so quick to leave, or why you so quick to this, that, and the third? Bro, I'm 6'4", 275.
You about 6'6".
You feel me? Like, we teeter-totter. You feel me?
Paul Bunyan, man.
At the end of the day, bro, if I get in a domestic
I ain't never heard
dispute,
somebody tell them they was shorter than they are.
yeah, bro, I just listen. I don't be trying to hype myself. People be like
The
5'11", but I'm
fact is the
6'2".
fact. Yeah.
You feel me?
On Tinder, I'm 6 feet.
Right. But at the end of the day, bro, I tell people like this, you got to understand the scenario, bro. And I understood this growing up at a young age. If a cop come to my house, ain't too many cops that's showing up to your house that's 6'4" or above. You come to my house and I'm 6'6", 275, and it's a domestic dispute.
Hey, you
Bro, I'm
heard,
going
you
to
heard
jail,
him
bro.
go 6'4", 265. Now he's 6'6", 275.
I mean, I'm just taking what you're saying. You
I
feel me?
know,
I'm just
I
painting the scenario.
it. Yeah.
You 6'6", 6'4", 265, 275, whatever the case may be. You come to my house and you respond to a call about a domestic dispute. I'm going to jail, bro.
That's why you got the call first.
Yeah, but don't
And
get
go-
it twisted.
and go outside,
Don't
lay
get
on
it
the ground.
twisted. Don't get it twisted, bro. Like either you gonna have to leave where you at, or you going with them. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of women be like, bro, like why you so quick to leave? Why you so this, that, and the third? Understand this, man. I'm a dude
cover
from
myself.
the inner city, bro, who grew up in the hood. I'm from Deal Avenue and Silver Road. I ain't talking about the old Atlanta. I'm talking about the new Atlanta. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to make you understand is this, bro. when it comes to dealing with the police, it's a certain type of severity that you got to deal with when you dealing with police officers.
Yeah.
So I already understand, like, if I hear domestic dispute, if I'm a cop and I pull up to a crib, I hear domestic dispute, I'm not hearing who called.
Yeah.
I heard it's a domestic dispute at such and such Willow Lane. I'm pulling up already with an assumption of what's going on. You see what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'm not trying to hear what you got to say. Bro, you just walked out the house looking like Debo from Friday. Hey, bro, I need you to step outside and go stand by the car while I talk to your fiance or your wife or your girlfriend or your baby mama about what done transpired.
Let me ask you this, because that brings up another thought. Is like, there are so many things that people don't actually understand that are weighing on us that they don't even see. What are the things that you are dealing with in today? And police can be a thing that you feel are weighing on you. Because honestly, I start thinking, like, even when my wife is talking to me, I'm like, it's so many things you don't even see that I'm having to deal with right now. And you are at times one of those things adding weight to me.
Yeah, bro. And that's the biggest thing, bro. I'm glad you said that, bro. I'm glad you said that.
But
hold on. One more time, bro. Hold on. I want to get in on that. Hold on.
Hey,
listen,
paint the picture.
Listen. So this is the thing that people don't understand, man. This is a conversation we had before the podcast. Bro, everything. listen. No, not with nobody. Hey, listen, bro. Listen, bro. I ain't say no names. I ain't say no names. I ain't say no names, bro. I ain't say no names. Listen. I didn't say no names, bro. I'm not looking nowhere. I'm looking at the camera. I didn't point no fingers. I didn't say nothing, bro. But this the biggest thing that people gotta understand, bro. From a standpoint of this, man, like, as a man, to have to go through whatever you going through and the stresses that you go through every day, bro, the last thing that a man want to come home to is more problems.
What are those stresses?
Just anything, bro. Like, I understand people deal with emotions. So in previous relationships and past relationships, I come home and you know when your significant other is mad about something. And I be like, yo, baby, like, what's wrong? Like, talk to me, this, that, and third. It could be something I did. It could be something your mama did, your daddy did, something that happened at work.
The sun came up the wrong way.
Right.
That's a thing.
But the biggest thing is, bro, it's the communication piece. Like, talk to me and let me know what's going on.
Yeah.
I feel like, and again, women, excuse me, but I feel like women assume that men are mind readers. I promise you, ladies, let me tell you this. If you find a man that's a mind reader, I swear to God, I give you a year's worth of salary. I swear to God. I promise you I will.
A mind reader that get it right.
I'm telling you, bro, to come in and automatically see, like, damn, bro, she mad. I ain't take out the trash. Damn, bro, she mad. I ain't pay a bill on time.
I feel
damn,
like,
bro, she mad. I came, like, bro, like, literally, I feel like it's a lot of things that go unsaid that women assume that men should already know. But don't be that way, because at the end of the day, you gotta understand, like, and again, I understand the stresses that women go through. I'm just giving you the perspective of a man. It's so much that we go through that when you get home, like, you always hear men be like, bro, protect your peace. Like, bro, when I come home, I want it to be peaceful. You feel me? Like, don't get me wrong. My current situation, we just had a kid, bro. I know my son is a lot. That nigga walking around in his little walker now, he grabbing shit. He only want the boob. This is that and the third. And sometimes I come home, bro, and I be dead ass tired. And that's not fair to her, right? But understanding my current situation, shit, I just went from working to coaching to working at a lounge to probably doing some other shit. We both tired. But let's communicate and let's find out a medium or a middle ground that we can come to where you can feel like you got that time to yourself, and I feel like we got that time to myself. I feel like it's the communication piece. But I still don't feel like
you express, like, what is really, like, I know it's a lot of things, because I can run off some things, and I maybe let me just do that. So right now, I got work. We got 2 jobs to start, and the worst parts of every job is the start and the finish. Mm-hmm. So I got those stresses from 15 subs on this job to dealing with and managing a superintendent, as well as on this job I got 3 subs starting up. I got to make sure that we start up, we get the budget set straight. That all falls on me, because if it goes wrong in the beginning, it goes wrong at the end.
Right.
So that's a work thing. I got mentorship that I'm trying to develop. My nephews, I got intern that I just brought on. I got to make sure I'm keeping an eye on what his development is. I got my family. My sister might be going through some things. I'm trying to support her. My mother's making a transition out of her job into something else, a different area in life. I want to support her. My dad has just finished hip surgery. His mother's going through some things. My grandmother, I'm trying to be there for them in that space. That's falling on me. I want to stay in physical shape. That still makes me wake up at 5 o'clock and I only get 4 hours of sleep. I go home and I got a wife who is, my wife is needy. So she wants this, she wants that, she needs that, she needs that, she wants this. It's my fault. All of that stuff all the time. Cool. I got a house renovation.
We gave her Wednesday.
Shit is not the prettiest. I guess it's gonna turn out eventually, but right now the numbers ain't numbering right. So that's a thought process. Like, shit, how the fuck are we gonna cover this?
Right.
I step outside the house and be see me with police. I don't play with that shit. Like, I don't give them no fucking chance to even have an opportunity. I go to work with a bunch of white people and I love them because of the opportunities they give me, but it's a different environment that's coming on top of me, that's imposing on me. I can't be myself because I have to watch how I maneuver and what I say. All these things, what are you going through that's weighing on you in your life right now? Kids is a major thing. Work is a major thing. But, like, what are you feeling right now?
It's just more so for me, bro. It's just the appreciation. And then I feel like it gets to a point where when everything falls down, it's like the appreciation come. But then I feel like I done got to a space where when I don't feel the appreciation, then you start to waver away from like what you steadfast on. You see what I'm saying?
It's almost
like,
too late.
Yeah, you feel me? Because it's like, bro, like, I'm going through this. I'm trying to be this type of dude. I'm trying to provide this type of lifestyle, this, that, and the third. And then when you feel like it's not being appreciated, it's like what we talked about in the beginning. It's like, bro, I've been a real nigga for so long. You start teeter-tottering and it's like, damn, bro, let me see what this fuck nigga stage look like. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm being real, bro. Like, dead ass. It's like people be like, oh, I want to do that, this, that, and the third. But in the midst of him doing this, in the midst of him doing that, in the midst of him doing this, that, and the third, it's like, where's the appreciation and all of that? Because it's a lot of stuff that we go through on social media, a lot of stuff that you see on social media, and you hit like and you hit like and you hit like, and you progress from hitting likes to leaving comments, and from leaving comments to goddamn following people. And it's just like, it's a transition. It's like what I talked about before about masking certain shit. Like, we go through certain shit to the point where it's like, okay, I'm going through this. Now I need to mask this shit with something that gonna take my mind off of this. So for me, it's just the appreciation phase, man. It's just like, I tell people, bro, it's just letting people know that you appreciate what they do and what they sacrifice to make sure that you don't have to go through or see what they going through.
I'm gonna guarantee you, bro, that's not what I was aiming at, but that's a beautiful word, because somebody said something to me today and just said, I appreciate you. Last night I went and got a propane tank, and we built this little stand that goes to my mother-in-law's outside fireplace. And she came to me today and just said, I appreciate you. I thank you for doing that. Like, that shit made me feel so good. Mm-hmm. And today might not have been the greatest day, but that moment, that made me feel valued. And I think that's something that we need, is to feel valued.
So I think it's like what you said, man. We said this many, many moons ago. It was 3 things that most men need. Can you name those things again?
Support, sex, and I think probably admiration, some of that nature.
Respect.
So respect.
Yeah.
So you can almost link respect and
appreciation
together.
For sure.
Right?
Right.
So it goes back into those 3 things. We're not rocket science. We're not the deepest and heaviest math equation.
I'm 1 + 1.
Most of
2 + 2.
Most of us are right there. 1 + 1 + 1. Those 3 things, right?
Yeah.
So
I like how you did that.
When those 3 things are there, it's easy for us to maneuver. It makes it a little bit easier for you to wake up at 5 o'clock. It makes it easier for you to stay at work or go to work on the weekends when you ain't plan on it. It makes it easier for you to go to that lounge and do what you're doing there, even when you don't feel like being there.
Everybody's personality when they inebriated.
The personality, the personalities, your coworkers, the people who coming in to patron the facility or whatever. And it makes it easier for us to do all this shit when you feel appreciated, when you feel supported, when you feel respected, and then when you get some sex, right?
Hell yeah.
So those things,
don't forget the sex.
Those things make it a little bit easier to maneuver through our daily. Like, but the one thing I want to add in there, man, is like, even with all of that, we still. Like, I think the communication portion, like you were saying, right? The communication. This is just my thoughts. I can't speak for these other young men or any other man out here. I don't think women communicate as well as they think they do. I think a big part of it is they give us pieces and then want us to piece it together.
So that's the point that I came back to about being transparent and not feeling like you're giving somebody context clues to put the puzzle together.
Right.
That's the biggest piece.
Man, the women in my life feel like I live in their head. They just start sentences like I done heard every other thing they didn't thought of before.
But that's the miscommunication.
Like, where are we right
now? Hold on. But that's the
Look.
miscommunication because, again, you get somebody the intro paragraph and the conclusion paragraph and want them to do the
figure
whole
out the
body
middle.
of the
Man,
word.
I get
And
the
you can't do
conclusion,
that because at the end of the day, and let me say this, and I'm speaking for me. I'm not speaking for y'all.
Yeah.
Do your
I'm
thing.
speaking for me. Listen, bro. I like puzzles. I like the little games and shit that you do. What's the shit called? Escape room. I like all that because it's context and clues, right? But you got to understand this, ladies. I don't care if you wrote this shit on the refrigerator, if you put it on a post-it note, this, that, and the third. If you don't say it, we're not going to understand it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Don't put us in a position to feel like that we're going to read your mind or feel like, hey, I told him this once. And expect him to catch on to it because at the end of the day, I feel like men, we're visual learners. Most men are. You got some men who are different learners. They learn by doing, they learn by seeing, they learn by actually, whatever the case may be, the 3 learning styles. Again, don't judge me. But at the end of the day, people learn differently. So at the end of the day, you got to understand the way that your man learned and understand that and accept that and be able to meet him where he is. A lot of things, the biggest point that I want you to take away from that sentence is meeting somebody where they are.
So-
because essentially, you got to understand how Byron understands certain things. He might not understand it the way that you are trying to give it to him, but at the end of the day, if that's the person you chose to be with, then you got to accept that to be like, hey, he ain't going to understand this if I do it this way, so I got to do it this way.
Honestly, that's
So-
where the intimacy shows up in that space.
Right.
I said this before too. Everybody say communication the key. Communication the key. Communication is the key to the deadbolt, but the key to the handle lock is comprehension.
Right.
So you got to get it to people the way that they'll understand it.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly,
Dropping dimes.
most of the people sitting on this couch right now, we not gonna be able to read your mind. Like I ain't tried. It didn't work out well. I got punched in the face. Some of
we
us
can laugh now, right?
So, yeah, I can laugh about the shit now. Some people sleep on couches because they don't understand other, you know what I'm saying, and other stuff. Like
Happily.
for most of us, we need it just spelled out completely. Like the comprehension part is where we're trying to get. So like feeling like, but I told him this part, he should get this part. No. Don't guess that I'm going to get it. Just tell me.
Ladies, please don't do that.
Just
Please.
tell me. Because listen, I can tell you right now, some people lose sleep at night trying to figure out the rest of that. I don't.
At all.
I don't. I did when I was younger. I remember I had a patchy beard because of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I went to the barbershop, man was
You was
like,
stressing,
man, you got,
wasn't
he was stressed. He said it's a stress patch.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
you literally get an open patch in your beard.
My shit must be coming soon.
I refuse to have
Why
a
is
patchy
that?
beard.
But then the point to this is this. I feel like, how can I say this? I'm trying to think of the right word. It's an evolution to the point where you evolve to the point where you just don't give a fuck. You feel me? Like I feel like you get to a point where if you feel like somebody not meet you halfway, then I feel like that's when women get in situations, or men get in situations where they just don't give a fuck because
That's
they
what
feel
you
like
do-
somebody
you
that's
don't
not being
wanna-
heard.
That's
You
what
don't wanna
you don't want to be Brandon.
Right. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Who he used to be.
hold on.
Who Brandon
You
used
gotta
to
edit
be.
that part. But
Nah,
I
Brandon,
feel like,
no,
I feel
it-
like, but again, bro, it's just like
That's
you
been his
go
platform.
around if you feel like you aren't heard, if you
That's
feel
his
like you're
presidential
unappreciated, bro.
platform.
You get to a space in which you feel like I just don't give a fuck because it seems like if I do wrong or if I do right, I'm still getting the same result. Like my biggest thing, we talk about affection, dude. Like at one point, I used to make it a point before I left out the house to kiss my fiance and all my kids, bro. Because the biggest part about a lot of people, I used to hear, I listen to a lot of shit on social media, and what people don't understand, dude, when we walk out that door, we're not promised to walk back in. People don't understand how significant that shit is, man. Like
fact.
that shit brought me to tears one day when I was watching that shit on Instagram, bro. Because again, I might be driving home. God forbid, I might be driving home. I might not make it home, bro. This might be my last motherfucking show. And then understanding what went on with me and my personal life and my kids and how they feel to feel like, damn, bro, I grew up without my dad. Like, I feel like we don't weigh in on that a lot. So I used to make it a personal issue every morning when I wake up, bro, to kiss my kids and to kiss my wife, my fiance, and walk out that door, bro. Because the last thing I want them to remember is like, damn, this happened. But the last memory I had of him is that kiss that I felt before I walked out that door.
What I think I heard, though, is you said you used to.
Yeah, I used to, bro. Like, I done got to a space now, bro, where it's just like, and I want to say this because I know somebody gonna watch this segment like, oh, this nigga think he perfect, this and that and the third. I'm nowhere near perfect, bro.
Nope.
I'm in a current situation that fucked
They
up.
throwing ducks all day. Tyreek can't catch none of them.
You see what I'm saying? Bro, I'm in a current situation where
judging your life.
I'm telling you, bro, dead ass. Like, for real. Bro, nowhere near perfect.
Fuck Wallace, man.
And then I think this too, bro.
And
like, society trying to fill us up with some shit to think that we just do shit perfect, bro. And I understand, bro, I done made plenty of fuck ups. I say this to the camera. I done made plenty of fuck ups, dude. I done had plenty of fucking chances in this, that, and the third. But I felt like a lot of shit that happened stemmed because I felt like I wasn't appreciated, bro. I really felt like that. And then my fiance had conversations about that.
I think sometimes we have trouble expressing that we need that.
Right.
Were you able to express that when you were feeling? Did you even know you were feeling that you needed that?
I felt it, and I will say this: like, I had conversations, and she asked me, and this is the biggest part that I felt like I didn't have the answer to. I had the answer, but when she first asked me, I didn't have it, and she was like, "What is appreciation to you?" And mind you, bro, I'm one of them dudes. If I'm always going at work or this is that and the third, the first thing I'm gonna make sure is that everybody's fed. I don't give a fuck. Like, if I gotta do this job, this, that, and the third, bro, like, what we doing for dinner? If we can't figure out what we doing for dinner, I'm buying some shit. Because if I'm working and making all this fucking money, then what's the point of making money if the household ain't straight? But then on the days that I'm not there, I'm still trying to help cook, still trying to help clean, this, that, and the third.
But what makes you feel appreciated?
Huh?
What makes you feel appreciated?
The appreciation is just the small shit, bro. Like the kisses, the hugs, the sex.
What you
but
say?
Hold on, even with that being said, bro, this the biggest key is not having to initiate
not having to ask.
Not having to ask.
Man.
Bro, literally, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and then I
don't need to hear say thank you.
I've had conversations,
just go to work.
and women always say this. They be like, "Oh, I fear being denied." Bro, listen. I can only think of one time where I've been dead ass tired to the point where I was like, bro, even if I roll over, he ain't gonna roll over. So I'm just letting you know, like, this is what it is. But that was one scenario out of a million. Most men do not want to initiate sex. They don't. So
Every time.
Right, bro.
We want to, but not every time.
You feel me? Like, because I feel like that shit is
You
annoying.
want to feel wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
Bro, my nigga woke up. I swear to God.
He been asleep the whole time.
Don't leave me hanging, bro. Bro, listen, bro. Listen.
I'm just quiet.
Because you got to understand this. Think about this, bro. A woman only has the opportunity to come in and steal your man's attention if he doesn't feel wanted. Understand that. I don't give a fuck what situation it is.
I believe you.
If a man doesn't feel wanted, you open up a void for other women to come into your situation or your relationship and make him feel wanted. You talk about any situation that we've ever seen. A man has not feel wanted in certain situations, and there's somebody out there providing that.
And you challenging how strong he is.
Right.
That's your test right there. How strong is he?
Yes. But, like I tell y'all, bro, like, again, bro, like, with my fiance, dude, like, when shit going right, shit is wonderful, bro. When shit is going bad, that shit is going bad.
It's all bad.
You feel me? And bro, I work in an environment where I'm around different people. You feel me? Like different women. And then don't nobody ever factor in the scenario, bro, that is damn near what? 5 times the amount of women that there are men in the world. And then again, no disrespect, I know y'all just did the segment. Just take in consideration the men that don't like women. You feel me? So your ratio goes from 5 to 1 in Atlanta to 15 to 30 and 1.
Hey, look, here go my disingenuous comment and the 60% that's in jail, right?
Come on, bro. You feel me? So again, we raising the
There's only 18% of crime going on.
So this the part. This the part we talk about being wanted, bro.
Disingenuous bad.
And then again, bro, I really feel like we're genuine niggas, bro. Like, In addition
Not
to
this nigga, he's not genuine. That's what Rod.
in addition, bro, to working the 2 jobs, to coaching. I got an event planning business with my mom.
Yep.
Bro, in addition to all that, I still try to make a way to help cook, to help clean, to make sure
And being
shit in the
our
household
quarterback.
come. So it always
Still come
comes
play flag
back.
football.
It always comes back
Sometime.
to a point of being wanted. You feel me? Like,
We want
don't
you,
get me
Gio.
Yeah.
twisted.
Hey, what you need? I can't do that.
You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, and I say
I
this on
want you.
TV too, bro.
We want
And most of my relationships, a lot of women be like, bro, you're a mama's boy. This is that and the third. So let me shed light on that situation.
Uh-oh.
And I'm gonna keep it a bean.
This nigga ain't bullshit.
I'm telling you, bro. I told you, listen,
He
bro.
had notes.
It's in the notes. It's in the notes.
What
It's in the
the
notes.
time was like?
Listen, my boy, right? It's in the notes, my boy.
135.
Listen, I told you, bro. I've been drinking before y'all. So I'm gonna try to make this short and sweet, bro. I grew up in every hood that you could think of. So these niggas that claim they from Cleveland, bro, I've been in Cleveland. The first time I see somebody get killed when I was in Cleveland. I grew up on Silver Road and Deal Avenue. If you don't know where it is, Google it. That's the second time I seen somebody get killed. You feel me? Bro, I done grew up in Mechanicsville. I done grew up in every hood that you can think of, bro. I played football in Pittsburgh. All this shit that my mom tried to shelter me from, she grew up as a single parent, bro. She did everything she could to provide for me and do what she could to keep me from those situations. But I still, how can I say that? I still experience those situations. So when it comes to a chick that feel like a dude is a mama's boy and this, that, and the third, bro, you gotta understand, I've experienced shit with my mom that a lot of y'all can never fathom. So a lot of these dudes that try to walk around and be gangster and do all that other shit, bro, I grew up playing around crack needles and fucking dime bags and shit like that. I ain't saying shit to get no clout. I'm telling you what it really is, bro. You feel me? Like, I grew up on the real Cleveland behind the Piggly Wiggly when I grew up as a young boy seeing prostitution, seeing dead bodies. I'm not saying that shit to get no clout or saying no shit to get no sympathy. I'm telling you what I went through. So to understand that, to understand this, bro, everything that I've endured because of my mother. And the man that I am today is because of the woman that raised me. You feel me? Like, my dad didn't really raise me like that. So I try to tell people, bro, when people try to like pick that stigma, like, oh, he's a mama boy, this is that and the third. You damn right. Because at one point, the only time I got to see my mom, bro, and when she picked me up at 2 o'clock in the morning, we went home to get sleep, and I would wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to be dropped off at my daddy's house, to walk to the bus stop, to get on the bus to go to school, to leave school to go to my grandmama's house, to be picked up at 2 o'clock, to go back home and wake up at 6 o'clock again the next morning because my mama worked double shifts. So the next time you call a nigga a mama's boy, you need to realize what he endured with his mom when his daddy wasn't there.
Right.
You feel me saying? So at the end of the day, that shit really feels some type of way to me too, because I'm not there for my daughter. So I gotta understand what my daughter upbringing gonna be and what type of dudes gonna be around her. Not saying that she not gonna make the right decision, but at the end of the day, as a man, you gotta understand, bro, what I went through with my mom to make me the type of way that I am. Because at the end of the day, it ain't shit that my mama can't call me for right now that I'm not gonna jump up and do. I don't give a fuck what it is. Because at one point, bro, I only got to see my mama at least two hours out the day, unless it was a weekend. Because she had to do what she had to do because she didn't have nobody else.
I think that's what we got to really get to instead of just labeling people is asking the question why.
Exactly.
Why do you cleave to your mother like this? Well, my man just laid out why he would, and it makes sense. Of course, there's some spaces you want to grow from out of that, but it makes sense, and it's a real love. Don't just say somebody is something and classify them. Ask them why do you act this way? Why do you behave this? Why do you believe this way? I feel like that allows us to honestly get closer in our relationships.
Right.
That's the communication, though.
And that's the understanding part too, bro.
That's the top
Because
part.
I tell people like this, and I'm not ashamed, bro. Like, we all grown. Shit, my folks grown, this, that, and third. What a lot of people don't understand, bro, is my dad, growing up, I used to go to AA meetings with my dad, bro. My dad dealt with drugs and all this drug addiction type shit. Growing up, bro, in AA meetings and understanding and listening to what other people done went through, dealing with situations with him, my mom, being able to experience that as a child, dude. Like, I went through some certain situations that some of y'all couldn't even dream about. Fuck that BMF shit. Fuck that power shit that y'all see on TV. Excuse me. That BMF shit that y'all see on TV, bro, this shit real life. Like, I'm talking about real life first experience type shit, bro. Like, I experienced that as a child. Like, I tell people, bro, like, imagine growing up in every hood and your daddy a dope head. You see what I'm saying? So I ain't saying that shit for no clout or no sympathy. I'm just letting y'all know it is what it is, bro. So when you talk about a man being there for his mom or being there this, that, and the third, because I didn't have a dude making the sacrifices that I'm making right now to make sure home was okay. You feel me? Like,
right.
I didn't have that, bro. Like,
Are you gonna have different conversations with your children because you know that there's gonna be some void because you're out working? Are you gonna intentionally have conversations like, look, I love you and I'm doing all of this so you can have the things that I feel like they'll need to understand that, because you can't make a child understand just without conversation why I'm not here.
Right. And then I had that conversation with my daughter, bro. She's like, Daddy, why you work all the time? I say, Daddy got to work because when you want stuff, I want to be able to provide that for you. And
what does she just want you?
She wants you, but as a man, I feel like you feel like it's a duty to your daughter to show her what a man should be, so she's not easily impressed by something that somebody else can just kind of flaunt in her face. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, my daughter know what it is to get flowers. Both of my daughters. Let me express that. Both of my daughters know what it is to get flowers, to get gifts, to get shit for no reason. Because I don't want a dude to walk into your life and feel like because he can buy you some shit that he deserves what you have to offer. Right. You feel me? But then I feel like ultimately that goes back to what we said about how women are kind of trained, and I feel like we grow into that stigma because it's like, damn, like, are you raising your child to be like the women that feel like her nigga got to be making $300,000, $400,000 a year? No, I want a dude to earn what you have to offer. But at the end of the day, you see your daddy working like a motherfucker. Your daddy ain't got it all, but I don't want a motherfucker to be like, hey, here go a promise ring. You know what I'm saying? Here go some roses. Here go some chocolates.
Open that thing up.
You feel me? Here go some American deli. Shit, I done spent all this money. This is that and the third. No, baby, like, it got to be something more invested than a dude just giving you what he feel like you need at the moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when we had them type of conversations, it's to let my daughter know, like, hey, Daddy out here busting his ass. So again, back to that Jim Jones quote. So you don't have to feel what I'm going through. You see what I'm saying? Like, when you go to sleep, yeah, Daddy might not be there when you go to sleep, but Daddy there when you wake up.
You feel like that this I guess cycle that you're in now, how often or how much you work, you think that's gonna be a forever thing?
It can't be, and I'm looking at it now.
What I about to say? What's the mindset or what's the thought process, decision making to get out of that rat race?
The mindset now, bro, is just got to ultimately be, what sacrifices do I have to make to be there for my family more? And ultimately, it may not be education, because I get so caught up in education because it allows me to do, or allows me the freedoms to be able to do what I want to do. Like, I talk to a lot of people about the jobs they work, and I always ask people, like, bro, like, how is it? Like, do you like it? Like, you know, because I feel like we get attached to stuff that we're accustomed to doing. Like, we get in a cycle of doing it. And like, teaching for me is easy because I have people to lean on, have support, this, that, and the third. So it's not hard for me to be a teacher because I may not know everything, but I know somebody I can go to and get the answers from. So ultimately, it's like I become comfortable in certain situations, but, you become stagnant in what you're comfortable in.
Yeah,
so most people don't like to push themselves because
in uncomfortable situations.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, I've been teaching for 10 years, dude. Like, most people wouldn't know that. I started off as a paraprofessional, and then I got into a role of teaching.
I taught for 10 days.
You feel me? But then
I substitute taught at 3 different schools. I was like, I can't do this shit.
But then it's just like, I tell people, it's just the patience. You got to understand,
I love
like,
kids,
it's just a different level of patience, bro. Like, to be able to deal with kids. But now, 4 years ago, my daughter about to be 4. My first daughter's about to be 4 in August. When I first started to try to buy a house in Atlanta, it was $165,000. I went and looked up Zillow. Today. That house is worth $325,000. Do your math. That's double the amount that it would have been 4 years ago. So I tell people, like, the lifestyle that we live in, to be able to provide, like, I want my kids to have their own room. I want my kids to have a backyard. They be able to have this, that, and the third. But the career and the path that I chose is not going to allow me to be able to present that to them or be able to provide that for them. So now we get into the conversation about, what are you willing to sacrifice to make sure that you can be able to provide those things for your children?
And that's, I feel like a lot of people, some people, is not the answer, but that's the answer to why I will suffer through a job I don't care about every day, because it gives me the monetary value back, and ideally it gives me some opportunity to have the time, because if I get it paid enough, I don't have to go to a second job. It's gonna take my hours away.
Right.
So I'll go to that to sacrifice my happiness during the day so I can spend time and be able to support my kids in a level that I want to.
Exactly.
And this has been another episode
I'm dropping down.
Hey, y'all heard all these dimes that got dropped, man. This man came over here with his notes.
Rolling.
He was ready. Wallace is his spirit brother because he be having his notes and he was ready.
Exactly.
But nah,
Shout out
like,
to the notes.
again, is the conversation that need to be had.
This nigga coming back again.
Yeah, you know he is.
You gonna come back
Yeah, I
next
already
time,
know.
right? So you gonna come back next time?
This was
It was lengthy.
a listening session for me.
Why?
I agree with.
Why do you feel like it was a listening session for you?
This has been another episode. Dropping Dymes
You see how I like to ask why? We gotta know why.
Yeah.
But nah,
Why,
for
Brandon?
real. Like it's just a conversation that need to be had, man.
shit.
And
It's also an opportunity for us to see like sometimes
how other people are thinking.
how they thinking, but also sometimes just giving a person the space to let out
Hell
what's going
yeah.
on.
That's what you need the most.
Like that's honestly that's the biggest part of being able to talk to your brothers. Is like sometimes I want the value of the response, but sometimes I just really want to get this shit off my chest.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's more valuable than anything I could probably get in this world at times.
And I'm a rough some feathers, bro. I don't want to start a conversation about this shit. I seen the quote and I'm
You
done.
gonna walk off.
I'm done. Drop the mic. I seen this quote on IG, and some women not going to agree with this, and it's the exchange of power. It says, when a man truly loves a woman, she becomes his weakness. When a woman truly loves a man, he becomes her strength. It says this is called the exchange of power. So all the shit that we talked about, in essence, about being a provider, this, that, and the third, that shit really struck me. That's my last note. I know Brandon about to fall asleep.
Hey, that's
over
why
here.
Skip
Let me
Bayless
take a
said,
shot.
if you my girl, you second to my job. Cause I can't give up the 30 years I done put into this industry for leaving you and taking time away from what I've been doing. I got to this spot because I valued my work before my wife, my woman. I still love you. You're just not number one.
Right.
And honestly, not the worst thing in the world. I'm still gonna provide for you. Get a nice house.
Shit need to be paid
Love
for. See y'all next time, man.
Threw that bitch up quick.
This how I'm feeling inside. Every line that